continue with our class Kosher Kitchen. In this session and all of them that we're going to learn today should be also dedicated to Rifash Lema, Rabbi Yaron Raven Shlita. His name is Yaron Bandoris. Also to Yehudis Bas Noach, Ariela Ora Bas Anna, Mimer Sirachel Bas Brindel, and Moshe Shmuel Ben Pnina. And also, BeEzrat HaShem, to Rifash Lem Atzlacha Rabba, to Giveres Chana Bas Abraham Avinu. So fast just finished, right? So if not finished by you, there's no problem. If anybody wants to eat during our class, there is no problem, because it's a special day, because of the fast, fast ended. Okay. All right. We continue with our class Kosher Kitchen, and we're on the last chapter of this book, chapter 19, and our topic is Kosher Kitchen utensil by utensil. And we're on letter M. Okay. So next one is a mixer. A mixer may be used for a pot of meat and dairy foods, right? A separate set of beaters and bowls should be used only for either pot of meat or dairy. Okay. Pot of beaters should not be used for a hot meat, of course, or dairy. Halachically, one may use pot of beaters for cold milk and dairy foods if the beaters are cleaned properly afterwards. For example, one is permitted to whip dairy cream in a pot of mixer. However, most scrupulous individuals would not use pot of beaters for the cold milk and dairy foods. I mean, we never, ever done something, ever. I mean, the metal beaters of the mixers, it's metal or glass bowls and metal splash guards, needs to be loud. Okay, so let's do from the beginning, and we're going to explain. So many people use mixers. Mixers like solve a lot of energy, a lot of headaches, and do much better job that we can ever do. Especially people who bake at home, right? Go try to do the dough, right? Mix the dough. It's not so simple. You have to be physically fit, and plus it takes a lot of time. And plus, unless you're professional, it's not going to be even close as if you use the mixer, right? With all this like a hook, right? A special hook for dough attachment, and other things as well. Okay, so again, the mixer may be used for a pot of meat and dairy foods. So right, so what you have to do is buy separate bowls, right? This container and the beaters or like choppers, whatever you have. Okay. Dairy foods. Okay. A separate set of beaters and a bowl should be used for either pot of or meat or dairy. Right. So meaning like pot of meat or dairy. Right. Most likely, the way I understand, most likely people would have two sets, like meat and dairy, and part of Have you ever heard that somebody had a pot of as well? I'm not sure. I mean, it's not like I'm asking people how many like sets of the bowls that they have, but technically, like the bowl usually is the most expensive thing, right? Beaters not so much. So and plus another issue with this like the three sets is like storage. Where exactly you're going to store them? It's not like you can put one inside of the other and I'm going to fit. They take a lot of space. Okay, but technically it's okay. Part of beaters should not be used for a hot meat or dairy. So as we always say, this taste travels through heat, right? So through heat, so meaning if you work with cold, technically, if you wash it nicely, so technically there is no problem, right? Unless it is like sharp foods. You have something with what is it? Right, with what is it called? with the sharp liquids, right? So that's they would present the problem, but otherwise there is no problem. So if it's cold and you don't store it for 24 hours, usually the taste does not transfer. But in my mind, it's only a matter of time when a person is going to forget and do not wash the dishes right away and going to leave it as it is for 24 hours. It's only a matter of time, right? And then wash it with the hot water, with the sponge and everything, and put themselves in a questionable situation. Okay. So again, halachically, one may use the pot of bitters for a cold meat, right? Or the dairy food, or the dairy foods, meaning cold. If the bitters are cleaned properly afterwards, okay, so they would remain part of again. Clean afterwards. Don't delay. For example, one is permitted to whip dairy cream with a pot of mixer. Me personally, again, I don't know anybody who would do that. Okay. Buy self-attachment, or people just buy separate, separate, not even mixers. They call it there's a different small one. Okay. However, most scrupulous individuals would not use pot of bitters on a cold meat or the dairy food. I mean, we also have to be in this category. I don't see why today, if you live in Western society, why have to compromise. But again, so if it depends how much you use it for dairy. So maybe for dairy you can buy separate device, smaller one. Like for example, we have this what is it called? This a deep mixer, handheld, right? It does not cost much money, and you can do almost the same thing in what is it in a bowl. So that what one for Pesach. We don't cook so much for Pesach. Of course, we do bread, other thing, not bread. That's for sure. We do pastries or something on Pesach, but this small thing is enough. We don't bake big batches. So right, and you can do a lot. So whatever it's called, a deep submerge. I think they call submerged handheld mixer. Perfect. Does not cost much more money. We bought $30 with all of the attachments. Unbelievable. Right? How can you go wrong with $30? Okay. Right. So again, I would not advise to use this parif bitters with a cold dairy and with all of these things. Okay. So next one. So we finish with N. Neitza. Thoroughly cleaning a knife by thrusting in the hard earth 10 times. See knife. Okay. So as we learned, so first we wash still, but to completely clean, you need to stick in the earth 10 times. Onion. Next one. Oh, one second. I forgot the last thing, that all of the metal parts that actually touch food, I have to dip in the mikvah. And he said the splash guard. Splash guard, I'm not sure when the last time they did this metal, for many, 10 years, more than 10 years, I think all of them. I use the plastic ones. First of all, plastic is better that you can see what's going on inside, right? With metal, you don't know what's going on. So this splash guard is also a very useful thing, but usually it's plastic. But other things, for sure, it's metal. Glass bowl. Okay. So glass bowl, you have to dip in metal things. But if it's plastic bowl, not necessarily. Okay. So onions, garlic, eggs are subject to unique restriction. One should not keep peeled onions, garlic, or egg overnight. If they were kept overnight, they should not be eaten. This Halachah explained in chapter 16. Somehow I thought it was in the beginning of the book, chapter 16. So again, onion, garlic, and eggs. So meaning, if they were prepared, for example, made a salad, egg salad, there is no problem. Or they do they do egg salads with garlic? If they chop the garlic, if they add some, usually people don't prepare like garlic as itself. If they added garlic, for example, into some dish, there is no problem. There is no problem. Onions. So onions, if you cut it like in half, and you have one of them still in this in the skin, there is no problem. So it's only when completely peeled, completely. Same with the egg, if it's completely peeled. So that's right. Sometimes people need the egg on Shabbos, so don't peel before Shabbos. And on Shabbos, just peel over the garbage pail. So because this eggshell is a muktzah, that's it. So it can't drops directly into garbage pail. There is no problem. Same is onion. So onion peel is also in muktzah and garlic peel also. Okay. So right. Again, the only issue keep them overnight as it is. So a person should not eat. Again, it's not like it's not kosher. It's a matter of danger, spiritual danger. Okay, so next one is onion chopper. An onion chopper should be kept parif, and may be used to chop onions for both meat and dairy foods. One should cut the onions to be used in chopper with a parif knife only. One should not peel the chopped onion to be left overnight. See chapter 16. The chopped chopper requires tevilah with bracha. Okay, so let's do from the beginning. We try to understand. So onion chopper. What is onion chopper? I mean, there is different styles, but this thing is the same. The idea is the same. Like you press and it's like cut it in squares or different shapes. Like it's with one move. So basically the onion is cut. That's it. So again, the onion chopper should be kept parif and may not be used for chopped onions. Right, that may be used for meat and dairy. So I'm not sure what is. I mean, technically, if you think about it, I just thought about it. Maybe people would want to cut cheese with that. Can you cut cheese? I think so. You can cut cheese with onion cutter. So right. So meaning don't do it. Meat. I'm not sure what kind of meat you can. Maybe actually also maybe chicken breast or something. Right. Maybe you can cut with onion pie. Right. So they say don't do it. And as again about knives. So we must have this clear thing in our kitchen. Cut all of the vegetables with the parif knife. When always, but if it's not convenient, so it's not convenient. So then that's why you have to take a parif knife and buy more of them. I know, the whole set. Right. Again, as I said many times, you buy the whole set, a million knives. It costs you pennies, right? And or almost the same if you buy 3 knives. You buy 12 knives or the 3 knives, almost the same price. How's it possible? Yeah, that's possible. Very simple, right? So buy more the parif knives. So if some of them are dory, 3 are dory. So yeah, you have another 5 to go. Yeah, so always, absolutely, always use a parif knife to cut vegetable. I don't remember ever in our family, right, that we ever cut vegetables with not parif knife. Never ever. Right. So even though if we could see something like dairy, so my Bible would have 2 chopping boards. One is a parif, she would cut onions, for example, and one is a dairy, a smaller board, all white, so for sure you know it's dairy, right? For sure, right? Even though technically it would make sense. Why would you want to wash 2 boards and 2 knives? Cut it with 1 knife? Absolutely not. Right? Why absolutely not? Because technically there is no problem, because it's only a matter of time and person is going to make mistake. When Very soon. It's only a matter of time. So, but when you get used to, or vegetables only with a palette knife. When? Always. That's it. Okay. One should not peel or chop onions, be left overnight. But if you add salt to it, or for example, people add, they do some kind of, I don't know what it's called, like salad, onion salad. It's not onion salad, like onions, marinate onions with what is it? With vinegar, with olive oil, with salt, with other. So this is like even those still peeled onion. It's already like dish. It's not what they're talking about. Okay. So chopper required tevilah with bracha. So for example, we have this a chopper that you disassemble, right? So in this case, we have to dip only the thing that have all of the blades. But other things we don't have to, but we actually, I think we dipped all of them, just in case. Right, so I mean, it's dangerous. So these blades are very sharp, so they're dangerous to carry them. So, but when it's assembled, there is no problem. Okay, so next one, oven. Right, so oven is going to be very long. Baruch Hashem. Right. All right, so let's see. So basically, I think most of us would have only single oven. Right? Is it possible to get by with single oven? Absolutely, absolutely. So of course, as we said, if person has means, or they just bought an apartment or do renovation, this and that, if possible, have two ovens. Right? Or today, I think these electric ones, they're very efficient. I mean, we don't have any of these electric ones, but we used to have many years ago. So, but today, right, I see from advertisement, so it's very, very, very efficient. Maybe there is no need for two gas ovens. All right. So it says it's also self-cleaning oven. Okay, no problem. Ideally, one should try to acquire two separate ovens, right, or an oven with two chambers. I mean, these ovens with two chambers, and tell you right away, it's not a very good idea, right? Why? Because we thought about it to get it. It's almost double price, and space is very limited. So the thing is, if somebody like professional cook, and they have the two different exhaust pipes, like right, ventilation pipes, so they can. So these two chambers, they isolated from each other, and there is only today is even the three chambers. I mean, I think like three chambers. I'm not sure. Maybe it's for show. I'm not sure. Like to show how like proficient. Yeah, but otherwise, even with two limited space, as we understand, it's not like we put something like huge containers in this oven like that. Like technically it makes sense, but money wise, if you have unlimited money, yes, that's I would maybe recommend. But otherwise, use the top one for meat and bottom for milk, or opposite. And I think, as I said, some of them that certify kosher. So I looked into it. Right, they have a different exhaust pipe from different sides. So it goes on top anyway, but from different sides. So meaning they do not mix. So the problem would be, if you cook it simultaneously, problem would be the mixture of the evaporation. Right, so that's the thing. Okay. So again, ideally one should try to acquire two separate ovens, or an oven with two chambers. Okay. One set aside exclusively for meat, and the one exclusively for dairy. One may bake meat and dairy simultaneously in their respective chambers. Right. Those who must use one oven for both the meat and dairy should set standard use by determining which type of food is the most frequently cooked in the oven, in liquid form, in open pot. Only those containing liquids and cooked in an uncovered pot presents problem of steam, zayach, right? Not dry foods or cooked in covered pots. See chapter 7. It was a long time ago. Right? For example, one who roasts meat in gravy, often in an open pot, should set the meat use of the meat use is his standard use. One who frequently bakes cheesecakes or cheese lasagna in an open pan should set the standard use as daily. Okay, so let's finish and then we review. Once the standard use has been established, whether meat or dairy, one may freely use the oven for both dry and liquid foods of that type, regardless of whether the pot is open or covered. For example, one sets the standard as a meat, which is more common. He may cook or bake both dry and liquid meat foods consequently, even if the meat isn't covered. Okay, so let's try to go over. So again, it's not preferable, but it's as I said, majority of the people live in rented apartment, or they have no means to change it, or actually, right. So whatever the reason is, they're going to live with one stove. Okay, for whatever reason. So for whatever reason. So again, I would advise to buy something separately. But as he says here, there is you can live with one oven. There is, just have to be careful, right? So the issue is zeh, right? So what is there? Steam. So if there is no steam, there is no problem. So for example, from bread, there is no steam from bread, right? There is no steam from other things, right? When there is no liquid, or when this thing is covered, right? When the pot is covered, there is no steam. So again, one may bake meat and dairy simultaneously in respective chambers. So if it's done by chamber, there is no problem. You can do in again, not in all of them. Not in all of them. I was looking into like a few years ago. So some of them, they have the same ventilation pipe. So I'm not sure why would they do so, but that was the case. And other from two different sides. Okay, so I have to look into it if somebody wants to buy it. Those who must use one oven for both meat and dairy should set the standard use by determining which type of food is most frequently cooked in the oven in liquid form, right? In liquid form, in open pot, right? So meaning you have an oven, and then you have to decide what is you eat more. I think from my experience, most of the people would eat more meat. So part of it is understandable, but they eat more meat than they eat dairy. But some people they try to do vegetables for whatever reason, because of the health issues or monetary issues, all of these issues. No problem, right? Financial issues. So they would eat more dairy than they eat meat. So in this case, we go by the steam. So steam is only when you cook in liquid, right? Without cover. So, but if it's liquid but it's covered, there is no problem. Okay. Frequently used. Okay. So right. Only those food contain liquid and cooked in an uncovered pot presents problem of the steam zeh. Right, so meaning if it's with a liquid but covered, there is no problem. Okay, not dry foods or foods cooked in an open pot. Okay, in a covered pot. Sorry, dry foods, there is no problem, and covered pot also not a problem. Okay, for example, so we're going to see I think later on, because I remember somewhat that we said in when we were learning. So technically, you can do meat and dairy at the same time. I mean, I would never ever do it, but technically, if you think about it, if a person pressed for time, if both of them are dry, both of them are covered with a lid, or one of them covered with a lid, another one is dry. Like technically, you can use it, but I would not recommend. Okay. Right. Okay. For example, one who roasts meat and gravy, often in open pot, right? So I think always in open pot. Should set the meat. So at least sometimes they would do the closed pot and then they open, right? Should set the meat use at his standard use, right? So meaning because it's a liquid, right? And because they cook liquids like a liquid meat, like a gravy, meaning, right? So main usage of this oven is a meat. So when we set it as a meat, so meaning you can use you can cook meat in open containers, closed containers, liquid, not liquid, all of these things, right? But if a person does lasagna, cheesecake, all these things, right? Right. So then it's going to be dairy. So I mean, lasagna, I'm not sure. Like cheesecake, I think it's cheaper to buy this cheesecake than to make it home. I think so. Like like how much ingredients you're going to use and how much you time you're going to spend, and I think it's cheaper to buy. Continue. So once the standard use has been established, whether it's meat and dairy, one may freely use oven for both dry and liquid foods of this type, regardless of whether the pot is open or covered, as we said. For example, if one sets a standard as a meat, which is more common, he may cook or bake both dry and liquid meat formed consequently, right? Even if meat isn't covered. So of course, if you want to use it for now for dairy, as we're going to see, you have to kosher the whole pot again. Okay.